Welcome back to his house, where we do a little bit of everything all the time, and it usually turns out right. Today, we're going to make some savory crepes. So, I'm going to poach a couple eggs. Now, I don't poach my eggs like typical. There's only about an inch of water in here. This is more like a soft fried over easy egg. Yeah, when I poach my eggs, like I said, there's about an inch of water in there. I get it nice and hot. I like the yolk to be runny in the middle, and I like it to still have yellow on the top of the egg, so I don't poach it all the way around. But they're delicious, and when you see them on top of the crepe, and you just break the yolk and it just goes down into that pulled pork, it is so good. For my crepes, I got a half a cup of flour, pinch of salt. Typically, I make my crepes with sugar and vanilla, but since I'm doing savory crepes today, I'm not going to do that. And I'm adding 3 eggs. Now I'm going to whisk this up just to get these eggs incorporated into the flour. And then I'm going to start adding some milk too, so it doesn't get too thick. But I want to get these eggs kind of whisked together first. So as you can see, I have the eggs whisked up. Hasn't incorporated all the flour, but now the eggs are nice and beat, so I'm going to start adding some flour, just enough to get it to mix without sticking in a big clump on the whisk. I want this batter to be very smooth, with no lumps. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter. Then once that's whisked in, now you just add some milk. There's probably going to be about 3/4 to a cup of milk in here in total. You just want your crepe batter to be so it's nice and runny, and you can spread it out. I was making some sandwiches the other day, and Luke wanted a pulled pork grilled cheese sandwich, so I pulled this out of the freezer, and I figured it would make a good breakfast today as well. So now I'm just going to heat this pulled pork up on low. I just want to warm it up. I don't want to cook it at all, so I'm going to dry it out. I'm probably going to add a little bit of butter to it. And these eggs are almost done. So Liz doesn't like any white that might be uncooked. So for her egg, I just take the hot water and I pour it over the top as it's cooking. And that'll leave the yellow still showing, but it'll get all the white around it cooked all the way through. Now I'm going to turn the heat off because the white's done and I don't want the yellow to cook too much. Normally, I make my crepes in this pan. It's smaller, it's steel, goes right here on the cooktop. It's a lot easier to use. My number 2 kid, he loves crepes. We actually got him this as a Christmas present probably like a decade ago. I don't use it that much. It makes bigger crepes. You have to use a spreader, which I couldn't find today. So I'm using the flipper as my spreader today, and we're going to see how that works. Hopefully it works. And this is about 1/3 cup of batter. Worked okay, I guess. So I'm going to make a few of these crepes real quick, get them all set over there, and then all we have to do is prep them afterwards. So my spreader is a little stick that you kind of pull behind, and it has a little, it kind of looks just like a gravel spreader you'd have on the back of your tractor. It works so much better than this. I'm going to have to clean that off now, but we're getting it done. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of flour back into here. I may have thinned it out a little bit too much. Like I said, I don't normally use this big one. But for savory crepes, having the bigger crepe is a lot easier to fold all the ingredients in. Now it's just time to assemble. I've turned this all the way down to low. I'm actually going to let it cool down a little bit more because I don't want to cook the crepes. I just want to heat them up a little bit to melt the cheese. All right, we got this back on here. I'm going to add cheddar cheese. Spread it out a little bit. I want it to melt some. Then we got our smoked pulled pork. Whenever I make food, for the most part, I make a lot. It allows me to backpack it and save it for other meals. So when we smoke this pork, I think I have like probably 8 of these 1-pound packages left in the freezer. And then I have a couple bigger packs as well. I'm just trimming up the excess that's off of here. Set that right on top. So before it's folded up is when it looks the best. I mean, that's just pretty. And nice big dollop of sour cream. That's going to go great with that egg and pulled pork and shredded cheese. So here we go. Broke into it. That yolk is perfect how I like it. Gonna make a couple more up of these. I'm gonna make a cinnamon and sugar one for my kid because that's his favorite. So that one is very easy. A little bit of butter. And a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon. Maybe a little more butter. Since I did not put any vanilla in this, and he loves vanilla, ooh, this is getting low. I'm going to drizzle. If this comes out, it's going to come out fast now. there it goes. I'm gonna drizzle some vanilla paste on top. There you go for him. That's what he gets. Yeah, these are delicious. And I let this sit for a couple minutes before I let him know it's ready. It just makes the butter and sugar just melt together and it forms kind of a cream and you don't get any grittiness from your sugar. Well, we got the crepes made up, getting ready to have some breakfast. Might make some coffee here in a second. It'll go good with those sour cream coffee cake I made the other day. So thanks for stopping by He's house, where the food is always fresh, the back deck is always open, and everybody always leaves here full. So keep stopping in, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.